Well, hello, Darklings. We wanted to give you a little wrap-up of the garbage shows we just went to on the version 2.0 tour. We went to shows in October in Atlantic City and Philadelphia.
The 24th and 25th, I think.
25th and 26th.
Oh.
And I'm your copy editor.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had a blast, and
That show in Philadelphia was so amazing.
it was. I was really looking forward to these shows, especially since I've had an extremely difficult last 3 months. So it was a real treat for Barry and I to see Garbage, who is probably the one band that we love equally.
I concur.
We have a lot of overlapping interests in bands, but Garbage is the one that we share equal love.
And version 2.0 is my favorite Garbage album.
And we have a little buddy here. He's version 2.0 colored too, Kenny.
Don't kill him.
It's really funny what happened the other day.
She killed Kenny.
No, Kenny fell. We thought he got lost, or maybe that someone stole him here recently, but we have no thieves, but we just didn't know where he went missing. He used to be on top of a cabinet. Then I looked through a hole near the cabinet, and I saw he had fallen in there.
Plunged to his death.
Fallen in there. So then it was so funny because our friend Brandon, we had him fish it out with one of our clampers, and he kept trying to get it and kept dropping him. So every time I said, "Oh my God, you killed Kenny. You bastard." But yeah, he's version 2.0 colored, and here is one of our little collectibles that we got signed after the Philly show. Got it signed by Shirley and Butch, and but we'll talk more about that later. And so, do you want to talk a little bit about version 2.0 and
Well,
the
yeah, I want
significance
to
of that?
I want to talk about how much that I love that they did the entire album at the show, and a lot of the B-sides that were finally released on the double CD 20th anniversary edition of version 2.0, which she was just showing with Kenny. And there's sort of a interesting concept of version 2.0 because she's version 2.0. It's Stephanie 2.0.
I am. I have gone through a transformation recently, and I refer to myself as that. And I also refer to myself as Steph-tastic, in reference to my very good friend Susie Rakowski's new book.
Who we met because of Phoebe Legere.
Sue-tastic. But which is a self-help book, and Phoebe and Susie are very special people. But back to
So we had a
show.
real treat in Atlantic City at the show. The band took requests from the audience to do a song at both of the shows and in Atlantic City, and they had to reject a couple of them too because they were too difficult to do. What was the one? Parade, I think, was the one someone asked for in Philadelphia, and it was too difficult for them to do it.
It was too difficult for them to do it. It was also too difficult for them to do Androgyny, which I really like.
Yeah, that's a
But
good
the one they ended up doing in Philadelphia is one of my favorite Garbage songs, Queer. And that was unusual because it was not in part of the version 2.0 era.
Right.
And in Atlantic City,
The one that they ultimately ended up doing was Cup of Coffee. And I just happened to have a cup of coffee. I've been drinking coffee. It's in my cup from Scotland, which is the sun and the moon on each side. There's the moon. And it's just funny that it's from Scotland, and I'm drinking a cup of coffee.
we have another little friend here, Velcro's in the background.
He's cute. He just jumped up right as we were setting up to do the video. And anyway, the cup of coffee that they did was, it was just Shirley and Duke, and then there was a little bit of drumming Butch did in the middle of it. But it was a good
Yeah, it was
good
like
song.
a stripped down
Yep.
version.
It was a rare treat.
And the
I saw that the last time, I guess, on the Beautiful Garbage tour, which is where I got this lovely shirt here.
that special
I love
rare
this
shirt.
It's very rare.
He only wears it on special occasions.
Mm-hmm.
And in Philadelphia, I really liked Shirley's outfit. She had these, for Halloween season, she had orange stockings. And she always looks good in those. And she had her hair down as opposed to in Atlantic City, where she had it tied up.
Yeah, the Atlantic City show was a little bit more subdued and shorter, but the one at the Fillmore in Philadelphia was spectacular.
That show at the Fillmore in Philadelphia was really one of the best concerts that Barry and I have ever been to. There was so much energy, and we've been to, probably collectively, we've probably been to 1,000 or
It's a lot of shows.
I don't know, over 1,000 concerts, I would say. I've been going to concerts since I was 3. My first concert was Chubby Checker. Do the twist. And there was so much energy. My favorite Garbage song ever is I Think I'm Paranoid, and I was just jumping the whole time doing
That
that.
was spectacular.
And I missed I'm Only Happy When It Rains, but that's not part of this album.
Right. So yeah, we hung around after the show, and there was a group of, what do you think, maybe 30, 20, 25, 30 people maybe hanging around at the tour bus to try to meet them or get things signed, and it was really great because they all come out and signed a lot of things, and then Shirley came out last and was doing photos with people, and it was good that she said like twice that if you've gotten a photo, to step back and let others come up and get a photo. So that's how we were able to get up there and get our photos. And
the Garbage fans are a very respectful group of
Yeah.
people. We all took our turns, and nobody was pushing or in the way.
And we brought one of the red Blondie buttons with us.
I handed it to Shirley, and she remembered us from last year when we gave her a Blondie collectibles that says I am a Blondie fan.
But she wore that on stage the next day.
Yes, after we gave it to her at the Philadelphia Blondie Garbage show last year, she wore it at the North Carolina show, which was the next day.
At Raleigh. I asked her whether her red button made it home okay last year, and she said that it did.
Now she has another one. Actually, the following day after that, when we saw them last year in Vienna, Virginia, she was also sporting the Blondie as a Group button we had given them, and that's right before I had her sign my hip, which I promised to not have tattooed, and I didn't, but it was a lot of fun.
Sure was.
And so, like I said, the other day we also had this signed, and another special treat was after the band had left.
And most of the fans had left. There were only a few left.
A very nice member of their crew, he came up to me and said, "Would you like this?" I said, "What is it?" And he gave me one of these prize guitar picks. It's my first Garbage pick.
That's Duke's, right?
I believe so.
I think he said that you thought that it was.
Yeah. So that was really cool because, people fighting over those picks, and I just got one handed to me. Right place, right time. And while we were meeting Garbage outside, we were waiting about an hour in the cold, and they all came out near the bus, and you said Shirley took your hand at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, that was amazing.
And that was so much fun, and they're all such nice people.
Didn't they recognize some youngster in the show in Atlantic City? I think she got down and had that.
She didn't recognize them, but she started talking to them, and the little kid said it was their first show.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was her first show ever.
Yeah.
So she was crouched down and
singing.
got down to. And then they gave him something too, didn't they? They give him a.
I think she gave him a ribbon.
Yeah, that's
some
right.
sort.
The ribbon that was hanging off of the microphone stand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's probably a YouTube video of it.
And the Atlantic City show was at the Borgata Casino in the Music Box Theater. Now, the first time I was at the Music Box was in 2004 in the summertime. I went with my mom. I was able to snag. I was 18 at the time. I was able to snag Blondie tickets for $40 a piece. And I remember we were in row J, and I was a bit annoyed that so many people were just sitting down. But that's how it goes at casino shows a lot of times. But not this time at Garbage. Almost everyone was standing up. But for Blondie, in 2004, everybody was sitting down, but I stood up in the 10th row, and I think Kevin Patrick was amused.
Yeah.
I
was at that show as well, but we hadn't met yet.
We didn't know each other. I think there was a few shows that year that we both attended. Well, let's see. There's a whole list of them. The first Blondie show I went to was on June 23rd, I believe, or was it July of 2002? And that was in Jones Beach. I think it was July 23rd, 2002.
Is that the one where it was so wet?
Where it was raining,
oh,
yes.
It was pouring.
And
everybody got soaked.
I
didn't.
Mom
I was
and
backstage.
Dad and Steven were with me at that show, and you were there, but I didn't know you.
Yeah.
The next time, I think, was when we both saw them at City Hall Park, that free show downtown, and we were.
It was outdoors.
You said it sounded from what you described that you were on the opposite side of the music store when I was watching Debbie signing for all these fans, but we didn't know each other. And then there was the show we mentioned at the Music Box, and then the other show we were both at was at the Nokia Theater, June 22nd, 2008. Yes, I'm an encyclopedia of dates. And I was there with my dad, and that was the Parallel Lines tour.
Oh yeah, that was an amazing tour.
Wow. And that's
I couldn't believe they did Fade Away and Radiate.
That's the first show where I saw Matt Katz-Bowen.
Mm-hmm.
Our good friend Matt Katz-Bowen.
Yeah, he's great. Matt gave me two of Blondie's keyboards that one doesn't function and one doesn't function reliably enough to use on tour, and he gave them to me since he knows that I'm their archivist. Mm-hmm. Oh, and you were talking about the Garbage thing where everybody was standing up at Philadelphia. They were all standing up except for just a couple of people, and this one guy who was in the row behind us who actually fell asleep during the concert.
Oh my God! I
His
tried to
was
actually.
Unbelievable.
I tried to get
drunk.
I tried to get a picture of him, but then somehow he woke up during Paranoid. That woke him up.
Yeah, Paranoid woke him up.
It's like when you're at Joan and she starts playing the opening bars of I Love Rock and Roll, and everybody wakes up.
Everybody gets up, yeah. And then he disappeared, but it was funny because one of his friends asked him whether he was okay before he fell asleep.
Literally, I was just about to get a picture of him, and then he woke up. I don't think he saw me though. And
it was so funny. How do you fall asleep during a concert?
We had such a fabulous time with our friends at the show. Shout outs to Dorothy, Ivy, Shannon, Christina.
Yeah, Christina came all the way from Germany to go to the shows.
Yep.
And we had lunch in Philadelphia.
And Patty too. And yeah, we know so many Garbage.
And Renee was traveling.
Renee was there
with Christina.
And,
we had lunch in Philadelphia, and of course I got a parking ticket for being 5 minutes over.
Yeah, that sucked.
Throw away another $36.
Well, let's not talk about that. Also, hi to my Garbage friends, Matt Fort Wengler and Alex Bear, who are at other shows.
I think it's Fontwengler, isn't it? Isn't it an N?
I don't know, but he can correct us.
Yeah,
now.
he'll let us know.
So we had lunch in Philadelphia, and then we went right to Atlantic City, and that Borgata Casino is beautiful. There are glass sculptures there by the artist Dale Chihuly, and we like his work so much that we've even gone to the Botanical Gardens to see
I probably
full
took
exhibit.
300 photographs.
And so in the Borgata, as you walk through in the hallways and all around, even on top of some of the slot machines, are these beautiful, colorful glass sculptures.
The ones that were hanging from the ceiling were huge.
I took pictures of all of them. You can see them on my blog post. We like how Shirley rolls around on stage.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what song she did during this tour, but in other tours she does it during I'm Only Happy When It Rains. And she's good at that.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how she practices that, you know. She roll around on the floor of her bedroom.
Probably practices on
Does
stage.
she wear a nightgown when she's rolling around at night before she goes to sleep? Maybe that's how she settles down to sleep, just rolling on the floor. What is that song? Getting busy in the fizzy.
Get busy with the fizzy.
I like that song.
She likes that song.
Yeah, I like how she dances during that song. And also wanted to mention my friend Dorothy Kilroy, awesome die-hard Garbage fan. She was at.
Did she go to 9 shows or 8?
She went to 8 shows this
8.
tour.
Yeah, that's right.
Shannon went to 9.
Oh.
But Dorothy was wearing her devil horns headband.
The red devil horns.
At every show, and I told her it was so perfect. During Philadelphia, she was standing in front of me during the show, and I got so many videos and pictures of Shirley's legs and Shirley in general framed in between the devil horns.
That's funny.
And then, yeah, it's just perfect. She just loves Shirley, so it's perfect. She's a very horny girl. I said, follow those horns.
Follow that horny girl.
You know I'm teasing you, Dorothy.
When we were trying to find the entrance to find the hotel that we were staying at in Absecon, New Jersey, and I had to keep going around doing the loop because it was just this tiny little entrance that we couldn't hardly find even with the GPS. Finally she saw it and I turned in there and I'm like, we've been here before.
Deja vu all over again.
And it turns out that that place was the same hotel that we stayed in New Jersey 7 years ago, 2 days after we first got together. And we were also on the second floor again. And it was just by random coincidence because you just like booked it online, the cheapest one that was there.
The cheapest 3-star hotel. I don't like staying in a dump.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really funny, and it was a nice hotel. It was called the Crystal Inn and Suites. Anybody wants to go there?
We got very little sleep.
Yes.
During the whole deal, about 3 hours a day for 3 days in a row. It was good to get home finally.
So.
Oh, and before we came home, we wanted to try to find that Jamaican restaurant where the lady that was there working, and I guess probably owned the place, showed me how to make this habanero lime coleslaw, which I'd asked her for if she had anything hot to go with the food, and I thought she would bring back a hot sauce or something, but she brought back some of that, and I liked it so much I asked what was in it, and she goes, "I show you." And comes out with a frozen lime, a frozen habanero, and a coleslaw, and I learned to make it, and it's one of the things that I really like. I run the habaneros through a garlic crusher so that they mix in well, and that was neat. But we didn't find that place, but we found another Jamaican place, and we ordered jerk chicken, which was just spectacular, and it came with sides, and we got collard greens and baked macaroni and cheese, and they were
I like
both
that
great.
mac and cheese.
They were both good. They were both really good. And we got
and French fries.
some kind of, and those fried chicken wings. What do they call them? They call them like I don't remember what they call soul something.
Soul food.
Was
Is
that what it was?
I think so.
Yeah, but they were good too.
So it was really fun being at the Borgata, and
It was almost impossible to get back to it in the morning. When we left the room, you wanted to go back to the casino for a while, and they had the main road that connects where we were staying with Atlantic City was closed for some unknown reason, and then there were 4 other roads that were closed, that we were trying to get around that, they were labeled as closed for flooding. There had been an awful lot of rain, and it was like this hard, wind-driven rain that blew my Do Not Disturb sign right off the door, and they're gone.
Yeah,
So it took us, instead of taking 18 minutes to get to Atlantic City, to the casino, it took us an hour and 18 minutes. We had to go all the way up north
that
and
was a pain. But the night of the show, we did have a lot of fun, and I actually played blackjack tables for the first time. I'd only ever played them before on the computer in the casino, and we had a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah,
we met friends there.
That was fantastic.
And,
I was drinking the free drinks, and you had those Kahluas.
So what happened was, when you're playing at tables, that's the only time they'll give you free drinks, and so I was getting some White Russians, and then when I was done with a drink, I'd order a free drink for you, even though you weren't playing. So we were manipulating the system.
That worked out good. And you did really well, and
yeah,
we lucked out getting a $5 table.
Oh yeah,
that was amazing.
And
you played a long time. We
I did. That was
11:30 to 5:30 in the morning or something like that. Long time.
And there were some pros nearby who liked me and were giving me tips, and there was one guy who kept giving me free dollar chips for good luck, and
he wanted you to bet on the lucky ladies.
Yeah, I did the same for him. A couple of times I did get a lucky lady.
You got $19 lucky ladies
A couple
twice.
of hands I did get over $22 a hand. I ended up losing a little bit in the end, but we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And also, the next day, we were walking around and we met this other woman in the casino who we got to talking. Turns out she's a relationship coach.
Now, she was the one that was at the $5 table that we were waiting at to try to get on that table again, and she was getting ready to leave, and she asked us if we wanted her spot. So that's how you got your spot, and that's how she recognized us later on.
So she was a relationship coach, and she was probably in her late 60s, and she was telling us how she used to tour all over giving relationship advice to couples, and now she counsels them privately for $100 an hour. And
I'm in the wrong field.
She was a very nice lady. Maybe we were talking about a half hour, and she was very enamored with us, and she could see that we exude passion and love. And
definitely don't need her $100 an hour services.
And she also thought we were both a lot younger than we are, because we got those good genes.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Karen and Ronnie and Lois, our parents.
And my dad. Don't let my dad
and your
out.
dad. Yes, your dad.
He's part of the necessary preconditions to construct me.
And
like Steph's Blondie hat.
My gift.
I just bought that for her from Blondie.net.
It's a nice warm hat. I'm often cold, so it keeps me toasty.
It's a little tight though.
So a funny thing happened the night I was playing blackjack. I was walking over to the bathrooms, and I spotted this guy, a really tall guy, and he looked a little confused, and he looked like he was walking right into the women's bathroom. So I took a hold of him. I said, "Hey, what you doing? And it's this way." And I pointed him toward the men's bathroom. Now I can understand when you're that tipsy how a W could look like an upside down M, vice versa. But so as this was happening, this older woman was walking by me, entering the women's bathroom, and she was smirking. And she said to me, I was a little confused by what he was doing. I thought maybe I was going into the wrong bathroom. So I said, you know, he's so drunk, he can't even recall what gender he is. And she thought that was funny.
That is funny.
And also, when we were at the casino, there's this wheel I like to play called the Big Six, where you bet on numbers. It's like easier than roulette. I mean, I think you could win a little more than you can on roulette.
I don't know.
I don't know, but it's
But
fun.
it's funny because roulette has a horizontal wheel and this thing's a vertical wheel.
It's fun, and there was this, the dealer there, the guy, like, whatever you call him, the guy, the spinner, the wheel spinner.
Right.
And he got to talking with us. He was talking to us pretty much the whole time I was playing. He was really friendly. Kind of reminded me of, like, Sylvester Stallone's illegitimate brother. And he was a real Jersey guy. And when he heard about your Blondie connection, because naturally in any conversation, you know, Blondie comes up. How can it not? And this guy, he just was trying to think of this movie that Debbie was in. And he was like, how's Debbie looking? Does she look good? I'm like, yeah, she looks great these days. And he said, I don't think she looks too good from that movie I saw her in. And I said, what are you talking about? And then we were asking him more questions. And we figured out.
There was 6 Ways to Sunday where they had her intentionally, you know, dressed down and made up frumpy and, you know, for the part. And that somehow that image stuck with him.
He could not let that go.
I know,
he
that was
kept
crazy.
saying how awful Debbie looked. I felt horrible. It's like, that's not representative of
terrible.
Debbie. That is
No.
Debbie putting her all into a character. That's what she does. She even sacrifices her beauty for a character. And so I wanted to show some stuff that we got signed on last year's tour.
So last year, Blondie toured with Garbage in the co-headline tour, which was a dream come true for us. And that's how we were able to hang out with the band last year and get a few things signed. And I got to tell Shirley Manson how much that her speech inducting Blondie into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2006 meant to me. And I had the idea that because that was so good of a speech and I just absolutely loved it.
It was my idea, actually.
That, yeah, that you came up with the idea to print it out and get her to sign it.
Blow it up.
And she actually did that, and there it is. And she double signed it because she thought she should sign on the lower part, but when I frame it, when I mat and frame it, it's not going to be visible there. So I wanted to cut it off here, so I had her sign it in the correct place there. And as soon as I can make a copy of it, I'm gonna frame it, but I don't have a scanner that's big enough to copy it, and I can't get anybody to copy it. When I take it to a place that has a big scanner, they actually ask me if I'm Shirley Manson, and I was like,
and you do a Scottish accent.
I go, am I Scottish? And I'm like, do I look like Shirley Manson?
They don't know who the hell she is.
I can't get anybody to copy it, but eventually I will find a way to do that.
Here are some other treasures that we had signed last year. Barry made us these little custom tour books, and
I made them in the style of Blondie's itinerary books, and it has our schedule for all the shows that we went to, and Debbie and Shirley Manson signed the covers for us.
And here on my copy it says, Thank you for so much magic, Shirley Manson. And then Debbie signed it, and we have some other autographs in here as well. It's like Clem Burke, Tommy Kessler, and
There's
other
Lee. Lee's
members
Upside
of
Down.
Blondie, Upside Down Lee, and I think Matt's there. So, and here's Garbage members.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, they were.
and here's
they were
Barry's
really amazing to us.
copy. You have some notes.
Yeah, my original notes are in there.
Notes
just
in
didn't
here
want to have them
too.
lost. Yeah, so we would write in the books and take notes about the show so we could remember them.
Here, maybe while I'm showing them something else, look for a little sentence you could read from your notes.
I can't read.
I
Can't
can't.
read. I can't see.
Okay, well
Too small.
you show them this.
Okay, so we had bought the Garbage coffee table book last year, 2 copies of it, and
This is Barry's, but
this is The Noise That Keeps Me Awake is the title of it. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But
lyrics on Push It.
they were kind enough to sign and personalize our books, and that was just amazing. Very nice book. I'm glad we bought them and took them along. It was very heavy carrying them, but
Yeah.
it was totally worth it.
Perfect here for your cup of coffee and your coffee table.
Yeah, right, give me that coffee. I'll have a little more of that.
So I found a little tale here from last year's tour. Bethel Woods, New York, July 20th. Here are some notes. Michelle said Debbie was shedding layers. It's our friend Michelle Shin. Reminded me how she said goodbye to me. Oh, this is how Debbie said goodbye to Barry after he kissed her. She said, "Bye, Bear, you sex maniac." You sex maniac, you. And on the way out, she said hi to my friend Miller and shook his hand. We met Allie Boyd and her daughter Ramona. We met up with our friends David and his wife Noreen. Clint Eskandel got to meet Debbie, and she signed 2 LPs and a photo. And he got a photo with her as well as Ramona. Clem gave me a beer. And I took one for Miller, who drank a lot of beer that day and said they always have Bud Light. He also had elephant beer, but no opener.
I don't know what elephant beer even is.
That was a fun day. Earlier that day, I remember in the green room, we were hanging out a bit with Clem, and Barbara and Chris and the family were in there, and Barbara and Tommy Kessler were playing ping pong. And then you and I were playing darts.
Yep.
And
They had good food backstage.
oh yeah, they had Mediterranean food that day.
Yeah, that was good.
That was really good, and actually that show in Bethel, that was the day I met my friends, my garbage friends, Ashley and Ivy and Dorothy and Annette.
Well, I got them backstage.
Yes.
There was a lot of people back there.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
That was a lot of fun. And we tried to give Garbage's tour crew some peaches that day for them, but,
Oh, yeah.
but they got stolen, just like Debbie's peaches always get stolen.
Yeah, we got these peaches at the
but
orchard.
but that's a story for another video.
Mm-hmm. We'll tell that story. It's a good story.
So that's pretty much it about the tour, and we're looking forward to the next one. And I wanted to mention earlier, I mentioned my friend Susie's new book, which you can get now on Amazon. From Sue to Sue-tastic: How I Went from Broken and Beat to Finding My Own Inner Healing Superhero, and You Can Do It Too. A Manual for a Shattered Life by Sue Rakowski.
And it's only $9.99, and all the proceeds go to Phoebe Legere's Foundation for New American Art, which is a
501(c)(3).
it's an organization that teaches art and music to underprivileged children.
I'm reading it with my trusty Blondie bookmark. If you'd like to get one, if you'd like to get a copy of the book and the bookmark,
Yeah,
let me know. I'll send you a link, and I'll send you a free bookmark.
those bookmarks are from Vintage Official Blondie Fan Club. They made them in 1979, and they closed in 1981. And 25 years later, in 2006, I was able to buy all of the unsold Official Blondie Fan Club merchandise in an estate sale that went on eBay, and I've been selling it and giving it away ever since.
We're going to actually be doing another video soon, all about that fan club memorabilia. So stay tuned.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, Darklings. Oh, and there's, if you see here, there's a discontinuity error. There's a cat. Now there's no cat.
Yeah, the video recording shut off at a half an hour, so the cat disappeared.